help, wouldn't it? Wouldn't a microphone like really help this situation? All right, Broncos country. Well, I just wanted to jump in here and just kind of go over things a little bit quickly from our very first preseason loss against the Arizona Cardinals, 17-18. Yeah, we fixed it, Travis. We fixed it. Sorry about that, guys, but yeah, I mean, obviously a rough loss for the Denver Broncos, the way they lost it in the end, giving up that game-winning drive. This came after we thought we had our own game-winning drive with the Jaleel McLaughlin rushing touchdown. So, right away, guys, let's just go ahead and give a few minutes for some people to start rolling in here, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the box score stats and break down this overall game here. Again, guys, just a rough outing for the Denver Broncos in some aspects. The offensive line looked really tough out there. Defensive line looked good. Russell Wilson, kind of hard to get a fair evaluation on him because he was pressured on almost every single play. We're going to probably keep this post-game a little bit short and sweet here, guys, because I do want to get into the Russell Wilson film study, but I wanted to at least come over here, look at the box score stats, see what stands out on the box score stats, and just allow Broncos country to kind of vent some of their frustrations from this game. We've got Travis in the house. Hopefully we got the sound issues all fixed up here. So here in a second, guys, I'll go ahead and transition over to the box score stats. Just be sure to leave a like on this stream. I would really appreciate it, guys. Free and easy way to show your support for the channel. So if we come over here, obviously, in the first quarter, we went scoreless. Denver put up 10 points in the second quarter, including a touchdown drive down there with Russell Wilson. He threaded a really nice ball to Jerry Jeudy into the end zone there to cap off a somewhat rough performance from the starting offense. Then, obviously, we only scored 7 points after that, which was that Jaleel McLaughlin drive, but the Cardinals had a 15-point second quarter, so that's what ultimately made the difference there. Just coming over here at the box scores, guys, Russell Wilson went 7 for 13 passing for 93 yards and a touchdown. The box score stat, I feel like, is not a good indication of how Russell Wilson actually played in this game because he was, again, just being pressured consistently, was being flushed out multiple times, but he did make some nice throws at the same time. I'm going to be, again, jumping into that Russell Wilson film study very soon. We got Sir Surplus in the house saying, I was not expecting such an intense ending. I agree. That was a really fun ending there for this game. Ben DiNucci easily looked like our best backup quarterback between him and Jarrett Stidham. DiNucci went 7 for 9 for 57 yards, helped engineer that last drive offensively there. Jarrett Stidham looked pretty rough out there, 5 for 15 for 50 yards and a really ugly interception where he stared down his receiver and threw late to the outside. Samaje Perine had a solid day on the ground, 6 carries for 26 yards, 4.3 yards per carry. He also dropped a shovel pass from Russell Wilson. An interesting play design that was. Jalen Virgil had an end around for 25 yards. Tyler Beatty, 6 carries for 24 yards. He looked pretty solid, but Jaleel McLaughlin, man, he didn't get action until later in the fourth quarter, but he had 4 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. Thank you so much, David, for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate you. That is awesome. We got the super sticker in the building. Love it. So, back to where we were, guys, here. Jaleel McLaughlin, man, he is easily the speediest, most explosive running back that the Denver Broncos have on their roster. And the fact that he is fifth on the depth chart, I don't get it. He should definitely be ahead of Tony Jones Jr., and I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's the case in the next depth chart. Tony Jones here had 3 carries for 8 yards. They got him a little bit involved in the receiving game. He had 1 catch for 5 yards. So overall, man, at this point, if Jaleel McLaughlin is not ahead of Tony Jones on the depth chart, I'm going to be really disappointed. So if we come over here in the receiving game, Jerry Jeudy, 2 catches, 40 yards, and a tuggy. Cortland Sutton, 3 catches for 35 yards. Michael Bandy, 3 catches for 27 yards. A couple of really nice catches from Ben DiNucci. Adrian says he's moving up to third after this. I sure hope so, man. Deshane Bowie says the O-line was not good. The O-line was definitely not good, man. The O-line struggled out there. Garrett Bowles, man, I can't say enough about how bad he was out there. He doesn't look like he's moving well at all coming off of his injury. Ben Powers had a couple of rough reps out there. From center and right guard with Lloyd Cushenberry and Quinn Miners looked pretty solid. Right tackle with Isaiah Prince also looked pretty rough, though. So the offensive line for the Denver Broncos, I'm definitely concerned about what we saw in this game. What? It sounds like music outside my apartment. That threw me off. But yeah, guys, the offensive line, I'm very concerned about this. And I'm so excited to break down the film, or I'm not really excited to break down the film, but I'm intrigued to break down the film just to see how bad the offensive line really was. That dude, Mr. One says that hot route from Russ was from a touchdown for a touchdown was fire. It was, man. That was a great job from Russ. Everybody was coming on a blitz there from the Arizona Cardinals. He had dudes right in his face, and he knew that his hot route to Jerry Jeudy was going to be open. Jerry made a sick move on the defender, and that was a really sick touchdown there. I can't wait to break that one down. Sir Surplus says, I just hope we can adjust this O-line by week 1. One thing that will certainly help is getting Mike McGlinchey back from injury. He obviously missed this game with a knee sprain. He's probably going to unfortunately be out for the rest of the preseason, but he should be out there for week 1 against the Raiders, so that could be a positive. Coming back over here to the receiving game, we had little Jordan Humphrey had a catch for 26 yards. Adam Troutman, 2 catches, 18 yards, a couple of dump-offs in the flats for him. Taylor Grimes, the undrafted free agent, one of the big camp darlings, had 2 catches for 16 yards. Mile High said, looking like last year's team. I don't think it was that bad. There were a lot of big differences between this performance and last year's team. First of all, the operation and the overall execution was just a lot cleaner, a lot crisper, especially just getting the play in, getting up to the line of scrimmage. We didn't have any of this bull crap where we had to count down the play clock and avoid delay of game penalties like that. Sean Payton had the operation very smooth, clean, concise. Defense looked phenomenal, but obviously that's not much of a change from last year. But we just got to get this offensive line situation figured out with our starters. Russell Wilson, when he actually had time to throw and when he had the opportunity to actually create a couple of off-schedule plays, he looked good. He really did. It's just there were a couple of plays where he had no chance even before the ball was snapped, and the offensive line just didn't allow him to even have a chance to make the play. So overall, man, there's a lot more positive things to take away from this game than you'd think looking at this. I mean, the defensive line kind of got manhandled there towards the end of the second half especially, but that's at the point where we had our third and our fourth stringers in. Our second string defensive line, our first string defensive line looked overall pretty strong. Unfortunately, we did have a couple of injuries in this game. Josie Jewell went out with a concussion. DJ Jones went out with a concussion. Nick Benito went out with a hip injury. So overall, some concerning injuries there. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, Jaquan McMillan was a stud tonight, man. The dude had 6 tackles, a sack, a TFL, the QB hit. Well, obviously that was a sack, but I mean, he looked phenomenal out there. He flew off and got that sack off the play action. He had several PBUs. Jaquan McMillan definitely looks like he's going to make this team as the main backup boundary cornerback. Justin Sternad had 5 tackles. Delonte Hood had a couple of rough reps in coverage. The guy that really, honestly, borderline lost the game for us was Tremon Smith. Dude had 2 penalties, gave up multiple big plays. That was concerning. What's your opinion on Christopher Allen in this game? I'll have to go back and watch the film before I can give you a real opinion on Christopher Allen. He didn't really stand out too much, but I'm definitely curious to see how he pops out on tape when I go back and rewatch it. I'll have to get back to you on that one, essentially. Michael Vick will coach the Broncos next year, like as an assistant coach. I mean, Sean Payton bringing on Michael Vick, that could be interesting. But Sean Payton, he's going to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos for the next several years, guys. Matt Henningsen, Nick Benito, both got a half sack in this game. Elijah Garcia had 2 sacks in this game. Dude looked really good as a reserve defensive lineman. I was really impressed with him. Drew Sanders made his NFL debut, had a couple of tackles. Thomas Incoom looked okay. Randy Gregory didn't really stand out too much. Christopher Allen didn't really appear on the box score stats, so we'll have to go back and see if he got any pressure or anything like that. Essane Bassi obviously had a pick on Clayton Tune. So overall, guys, there is some positives to take away from this game. Russell Wilson's performance when he wasn't under duress, I feel like, is a positive to take away. Don't read the box score stats. Look at the tape with Russell Wilson. You will see a lot better performance than what the box score stats would indicate. Running game with Jaleel McLaughlin, Samaje Perine, Tyler Beatty, all those guys looked good today. Defensively, Elijah Garcia had a big day. Jaquan McMillan had a big day. Essane Bassi had a big day. So overall, Broncos country, I feel like, again, there's plenty of positive things to take away from this game, even though we didn't win. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to get on this film study of Russell Wilson and get that joint out. I just wanted to jump in here real quick and go over a little quick post-game stream and just kind of give my thoughts on the game and allow Broncos country to give their gut reaction. Thank you so much to David for the $10 super chat. Any last thoughts on this game, Broncos country, before I dip out of here? Adrian says, you just got to put protection around Russ, and remember it was the second and third string who played. 100%. And, the protection, that's something we're going to have to monitor really closely, because that's been a big concern in camp, and it's been a big concern in preseason. But again, guys, I'm somebody who likes to be somewhat optimistic here, and there was some things to take away on the optimistic side from this game. All right, Broncos country, I'm going to go ahead and dip out here and get on this film study. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, showing your support. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And until next time, guys, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I am your host, Gage Madrid.